Hello and welcome to our weekly AMA. My name is Anita Mlakar and we are live again to tell you more about 3Air and the project of bringing broadband internet to Africa. It is nice to have you here live today and of course in our communities on Instagram, on Twitter and on Discord. You are welcome to join us there if you are not a part of it yet, because that is a place where you can get all the information and answers to your questions. You get a chance to connect to other members, exchange opinions, and participate in giveaways. By the way, there will be some of them in this AMA too. Giveaways, of course. So get involved, click like, write a comment, suggestion, write your question in a chat, hit the bell icon to get notifications, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or invite a friend. Sandi Bitenc, the CEO of 3Air, will be joining us in a minute, but let's start with a short introduction of the project as we usually do. So at 3Air is about covering Africa with internet access and offering the right solution. 3Air is a blockchain-based startup who will leverage the power of decentralization to provide internet connectivity to consumers in Africa and provide the physical infrastructure to support this through its partnership with K3 Telecom. Only 20% of people on the African continent are active internet users, with less than 1% having access to broadband. So African nations have quite a distance to go in order to fully benefit from the World Wide Web. The lack of internet in this region has also a social and economic impact, including the way citizens interact with their government, with business, and with each other. 3Air's vision is to make broadband connectivity available to the masses, that is easy to access through its blockchain-based platform. We will be talking about this today, and with us is Sandi Bitenc, the CEO of 3Air, and I'm happy to welcome him again. Hello, Sandi.
Hi, hello. Hi, everyone.
Well, I know how to do it now.
We're
Hello, Sandi.
getting good at it.
Before I ask you many questions that I have for you today, and then we will invite our special guest, just tell me, where are you right now?
I'm really close to you. I'm back in my hometown, Maribor, in Slovenia, staying here for Christmas, and then on Sunday I'm already flying back to Dubai. Have some
Oh,
meetings there next week, so it's gonna be really short, and people are just trying to pull me apart right now.
yeah, I can just imagine. It's really a short visit, you know. You should stay longer.
We actually plan to stay longer, but it's with all the happenings, it's impossible right now.
Okay, you have an excuse. It's okay. So, Sandy, we have a special guest coming up a little later and some giveaway opportunities, of course, for all of you following us. But you will have to participate and get involved, use the opportunity to ask questions and get the answers here live. We will also reveal about our Christmas special a little later on. But now let's continue with today's subject, which is bandwidth sharing and the 3Air sharing model. So Sandi is the right man to give us some answers and, of course, information to the subject. And later on, we will continue this with our guest, Markos Lemma. Looking forward to that. Sandi, bandwidth, as I'm looking at it, bandwidth sharing is just it just means that you can let other people use your internet connection. The easiest way would be to just let them connect to your Wi-Fi, and then you are sharing this bandwidth with them. We have all done that, but I think there is much more to it, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Let me first just say something else, not connected to this. And I think it's really, really important because what happened today is that we got some people impersonating us on our social media. So it needs to be said. Please be careful if anybody asks you for your either private keys or some mnemonic phrases or some words and something like that, and you actually don't know exactly what it means. Please don't give anybody anything. Don't send anybody any money directly. We'll never ask you for any money. never. And for no codes, no passwords or something like that. The only thing that, there we have the official channel presell .3r.io, and that's the only way for us to actually communicate with you on the pre-sale and the token sale, and that's the only place you can get tokens right now, in the pre-sale. So please be careful. And I know that there is an account now impersonating me. It looks the same, just it's
Really?
one number afterwards. Yeah, and they're trying to no that's scam. So please stay away and stay safe.
It's already happening. So yeah, be careful.
Okay, and then so let's do the bandwidth sharing. There's a lot of projects trying to do it right now. Helium is probably one of the biggest ones. No, it is the biggest one. So at least in the blockchain space. And the idea is good. It's really good, and we for sure we are going into that direction. The problem is that it needs to be sustainable for long, and we as an ISP, we know that there are potential problems because of it. You're actually not allowed to just share your bandwidth without permission, and there's always a fair usage policy and so on. And this is going to be a problem in the future if everybody starts doing it. So until it's not a lot of people doing it, it probably won't get even noticed so much. But what's to understand is that even the bandwidth that you are getting already is already shared. So if you're sharing this further and everybody is doing it, then the ISP that's actually have they need to buy back the real bandwidth from the backbone. Um, they are they won't have it enough, so they'll need to buy more. And what people usually don't understand is that it's the other way around. So we as the end client, we think that we are buying it more expensive than per megabyte than actually the ISP is buying it, but it's a bit the other way around. So an ISP will have a higher price per megabyte of bandwidth as the end user. But what they can do is they can actually they share this megabyte and they resell it to 100 clients. So this is how an ISP actually makes money. So the end client gets it cheaper. And now if everybody starts using up all 100% of their bandwidth, then it's going to be unsustainable. Either the ISPs will just start shutting you down, or the prices of the internet gonna skyrocket. So there's no other way around. If only a few people do it, it's not going to be a problem. But if everybody starts doing it, it is going to be a problem. So I hope this is understandable. And this is how we actually thought about it. And what we are doing, we are thinking about everybody who's involved. So you have the ISP provider that needs to get a share of the revenue. You have the access point operator that needs to get a share of the revenue. You get the token holders that actually ensure the infrastructure that they also need to get a share of the revenue. So this is how we set it up. And for this, running everything through nodes is actually not even that much important, because there's not so much and so many transactions going on in here. At one point, for sure, it warrants its own chain, but you don't need to actually provide the whole bandwidth to a node, and that usually doesn't make sense. So what we build around is a token-based revenue model and a business model. And this is how we are going about it. And we think that that's a perfect solution for the emerging markets in Africa, because we will just give out the access points to interested clients, like, for instance, somebody who has it's a restaurant or some business or a bus station, I don't know, We've been in a lot of shopping malls in Africa, and none actually have internet connection. So it's also a way how to provide, let's say, free internet for your clients or something like that.
That is a very interesting subject, but also interesting is talking about, security and privacy, because, like you said it at the beginning, there's always something happening around that. How is it with in this field? Providing security and also privacy.
Yeah, blockchain can help a lot with that, and we are thinking about this, and that then warrants its own blockchain for sure. Yeah, there we would need, if you want to separate the privacy layer from all the data and be able to not only share bandwidth, but we are thinking about sharing the data like with some authorities or maybe some third party service providers or something like that. That can be done in a privacy enabled manner on the blockchain. And this is also one thing that we are trying to solve with our platform, but it's not connected to bandwidth sharing directly.
Okay, thank you, Sandi. Thank you for starting this subject and explaining a very important part of it. Now, maybe we should invite our special guest. He is a 3Airs advisor and partner of the project, also with 3Air. And I'm really happy to introduce to you Markos Lemma. Hello, Markos.
Hello, guys. Thank you for having me today.
We are happy to have you, Markos. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm great. I mean, I can speak for myself. I'm just great. This holiday is coming up, and everything is doing so great with 3Air and the project. So, Sandi, maybe you should also. Oh, Sandi is out. Also, we will talk. Okay. I wanted to ask him, how is he? But we already know that he's in Slovenia, doing well. And now it's time to. Before I ask you the first question, Markus, because I really have some questions for you. Let me just do a short introduction. So Markos is the CEO and the co-founder of iceaddis, Ethiopian first innovation hub and tech startup incubator. Founder of Salam Company and EduTech venture working on primary education and literacy. Representing Ethiopian innovation ecosystem on the international stage. And you were also organizing blockchain community events since 2013. Markus works with high potential startups in East Africa, also supporting high-tech companies, and so on and so on. Markus, this is just amazing. I did a short introduction. Could you please tell us a little more about yourself? What do you actually do?
Thank you very much, Antia. That's very kind. I'm first of all, I'm very proud to be in the 3Air community. Is very noble project we have at hand to connect millions of people, the ones who need it the most. At the same time, like really creating extreme economic value, like highly measurable economic value in the long term. For me, it's like, I've been in the tech space over 10 years now, more specifically like in technology startup support system that we established. We started basically in 2011. So we've been in the market the last 10 years in Ethiopia. So at that time, iceaddis started, the internet penetration in Ethiopia was like 0.4%. So there is less than 1% of the population is connected to the internet. So it's kind of like, how Web3 is now. No one was really giving attention to connectivity. So for many, it's been a luxury. But actually, quickly expand a little bit in terms of the value of startups. So I've been really engaging a lot, working with early stage startups, and we know that the development community go hand in hand with the launching of new products and services, right? So it's not just a project, but rather creating something economic viable products to launch in the market. And that's actually why we created iceaddis in 2011. It's quickly expanded into other markets. So we also expanded to Egypt, iceCairo and iceAlex in Germany. And also we try to actually engage in Pan-African level with other friends, with other hubs, because back at the time, I think there are around 7-8 hubs are there. I have from Kenya. They've been like the main news at that time, like in terms of like startup support systems. And the communities like in Kenya, and also like an activist based in Cameroon and CC Hub in Nigeria, like start to actually like showcase that like what's possible on the ground, working with like innovators, like highly skilled individuals on the ground can actually create products that can solve real life problems, right? So that's been like become a movement. I don't think anyone actually anymore question the value of like those in this kind of market, because already we have like unicorns on this continent.
That is a very interesting subject, because I'm working lately with a lot of startups here in Slovenia, in Europe also. And there's a lot of talk in Europe, how we should make this environment better for startups and scale-ups. Also, how the investment should be more reachable to them, especially those, with higher amounts, over $1 million, so that they can maybe really become unicorns one day. And that is a very important subject. And you say you have some good companies. That means also unicorns there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's like if you're looking at any ecosystem, right? It's either developed or like developing ecosystems. I think there are 3 major things are important. The first thing is like around infrastructure. So I mean that's also where 3R comes, right? That's the basics. We need to have that in place so that we can actually like think about anything else after that. And then the other thing is like the enabling environment. I mean, this is like related with like investment, but also like ease of doing business in the countries, having smart policies, and so on. And third, we need the mindset, like the culture, like having this like community development, having like events, have a positive where entrepreneurs are celebrated kind of mindset. So the combination of like these 3 items will bring in any ecosystem forward, become an innovative nation, right? So I think in that regard, there is a lot of like progress, of course, has happening. I'm very happy that like 3R is like part of this movement, and at the same time, like we're like the mindset is shifting. So there's a lot of young people in Africa, the second most populous continent, and also like really fast growing in terms of like technology adaptation. Not only like in the mobile sector, but also like, all in the emerging technology sector. So that mindset of like connected, young, talented individuals has been increasing in the last years. But in the same time, like governments are also like paying attention to this, like, they're being like front runner in terms of like creating enabling environments. So like looking at startup like policies in Tunisia, that was like started a few years ago. That's adopted like more than 7 countries in Africa, including like Senegal, like Rwanda, and so on. And also like really be open-minded for emerging technologies. I mean, we know the Cardano Ethiopian deal that the Ministry of Education has been like wants to do like the digital identities with Cardano ecosystem. Like showing like this kind of examples are like Africa is ready to leapfrog to the next stage.
Very interesting. Now I know you have a lot of issues or challenges also, but really how big of a problem are internet issues in Africa? How are they affecting the development of startups or let's say entrepreneurs in the region?
It's huge. I mean, I think it's almost like no-brainer, right? I mean, we need like a basic infrastructure to build anything else. So I think, and like if anyone, any startup like try to develop something, is like what they first do is like what is actually my marketable address is, and most marketable addresses are actually found online. So I think like just by having not connectivity, we're like successfully eliminating any sort of like addressable market in that regard. I think that's extremely like important. And then the second thing is like if you're looking at the number of like connectivity, it's leapfrog because so many people actually like connect with mobile phone industry, use technologies and stuff like that. But with the absolute percentage is very, very low. I mean, starting from Ethiopia, which is actually like one of the lowest performing countries, for 110 plus million people is like the number of penetration is like still like struggling around 26%. And the people who needs it the most are not the one who are connected, right? So, I mean, there is a lot of like data support this. I think if I remember correctly, even a 1% internet penetration grows means 1% of like GDP grows, right? So this is like extremely interlinked, like how people like be productive and lead their life. So again, countries from one African country to the other in terms of internet penetration performance is different. But what we have seen is like there is a huge need for quality of internet in the first place. So it's like what kind of like QoS we have, and also the prices. So like internet is like very, very expensive. I mean, if you're looking at the absolute ADSL 1 MB internet connection, Ethiopia is like number one in terms of like how expensive it is globally. I'm talking about globally, right? So how does actually like you connect that, like where developing countries with low income countries but actually pay much more for internet? It's very hard to match this idea. But it's in the same, like, but this is also very true even like in some of these places where Sri Air has been operating is like before that, like internet penetration was like so expensive that for a normal user is almost not affordable. So it's not just only the quality, but also the prices actually also matters. And eventually, like, what Sandi also earlier talking about, like how our public avenues are connected to the internet as well. So if you are talking about smart cities, that we need to build interconnected cities with transportation, interconnected malls, interconnected services. For this to happen, we need to have like free Wi-Fi in public areas so that we can actually like continue providing quality of services to citizens. And in this case, I think there is a huge, like, I mean, again, even in Europe, right? Like, so there are so many places where kind of designed for public internet connectivity, assuming that will be used by like for tourists and so on. But when it comes to Africa, that's needed for the citizens itself. So I think in that regard, actually, there is a huge need for that, and the gap is huge. But also, like, I think both the government, but also the private sector understand the need now. So they're actually really ready to invest and jump on this.
So a lot is changing. Is this something that attracted you to be a part of the 3 years project, solving all these problems and making this connectivity better?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think actually like I even finished listening to the whole pitch, because it was like, I think it's like the value proposition is like something that we're that I absolutely love with, because we know what's needed on the ground. We know what actually like the startups are actually like looking for and their users are looking for. And I think it's like having this kind of product is just directly like creating a real impact on the ground.
Yeah, and you're such a great contribution to this team as an advisor, of course. And I was also, today I was spending time, just checking you a little out and also watching the TEDx talk. I loved TEDx and all the talks. It's like, everything is in it, all the knowledge and everything. And I really enjoyed it. And you were talking about where someone in Ethiopia, or let's say in Africa, can go, if they have a great idea. Could you just tell us from Europe, how does this work?
Yeah, so I think it seems very simple question, but it's a little bit complex, right? So if someone doesn't have like a good like family background in terms of like investment, we always say is like you raise your first money like from the 3 F's, right? Like friends, family, and the fools. And if those not available around, and with limited like government incentives in most cases, but also like seed funding, lack of seed funding. The legal requirements are like complicated or not well known by the general public, and so on. So it's a very complex business environment at the end. So for a very young person to really succeed, we need to have a starting point. I mean, that's also like kind of the reason why we created an organization like iceaddis, because it's going to serve like a one-stop shop for that. So if someone has like want to have an entry level understanding of like what's the business environment looks like and how do they launch their product and services to the market. They need to get all this support in one place, and innovation hubs and incubators and accelerators in this market actually play extremely important role because of that. I think, of course, there are like a lot of people skeptical about like some of these things, right? Because people say there are many startups that are actually like out of without with the support systems, but the support systems was actually like kind of like creating a better result, especially the ones who don't have a place to start. So those are actually like the areas we need to look at, and I think I really believe that like there are so many innovators in Africa. I mean, in so many times I've said that like if the next thing doesn't come from Africa, there will be no next thing. So I think this is like kind of what we see. The trend is also like, new brilliant ideas are actually coming in with a proper Pan-African view, and the future is like more exciting than ever.
Yeah, it's a very important role, of this innovative community in Ethiopia and Africa. So what you're saying is that there is space, or they're open to innovation, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think if you put together like smart people, they always like bring in creative ideas that can actually like solve problems. So I think like the whole idea of like centralized systems, like when we talk about like Silicon Valley, it's very centralized, right? So it's easier to bring it together, like investors and VCs and then startups and whatever smart policymakers in one place, so that we can create that ecosystem. This is like now, at least from cities to cities, like this has been decentralized. Now innovation and products are coming from anywhere. Like we're talking about like countries that we don't expect actually like creating new products. I don't know how many people, for instance, know on our audience that like the robot Sophia, most of those actually programmed in Ethiopia by Ethiopian developers, and I think it's like this is the kind of like examples that most people are now aware of it, but things are happening on the ground.
Yeah. What is the role of all the blockchain in that area?
Yeah, so I think as an emerging technology, I think blockchain actually like has been tested. I would say I don't know anymore. Many people are skeptic about it. Maybe 5 years ago, about the role of like decentralized solutions, right? And I think when we have like bigger companies, like in centralized systems that are actually like providing services, a lot of people actually like start to question those ideas, where like how much control do we really have, right? So this is the same thing as like about the telecom services, like how much control do we have in our connectivity, and not much, right? So I think, and then with reliable blockchain technology, now we can actually say that like through without having is like guidance and pulling from a certain kind of like centralized system, we can actually like create value in decentralized system. And I think that's something is like also very African in many aspects. I mean, we have like a very decentralized governance systems in many countries, and even in Ethiopia, for instance, there is like the GEDA system, for instance, has been like very decentralized in many aspects, and there are so many different issues which is like very decentralized in that case. So we really like kind of build on that on this continent, and then it's like if you add like then the new technology, like DFIs, and then it's like all non-fungible tokens and stuff like that, bring an extremely like new idea to the table, because the issue is even more needed here. Like I can give you like millions of examples, but for instance, land ownership. In most African countries, like there is no like a very good like database system for land ownership. In most cases, especially like after a conflict or and so on, a lot of this ownership might be sold to someone else, or it might be like some corruption case is identified, and in most cases just might disappear, right? if we actually have those land ownership titles, that value on blockchain, that's forever. No one can actually like touch that, right? So that's a kind of like promise that the blockchain has in many of this market, and it's countless.
Okay, so if we say that, just looking like the whole Africa, you have like the government is the one listening to the needs, let's say, of the entrepreneurs, of the startups. Then there is a good way now for this internet connection to come into Africa. You have a lot of great startups. They know where to go, where to share the idea. There are also some unicorns. So there is a lot of, I should say, space for them to develop and to really do remarkable job, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's like that energy, right? So like in one hand is like there is like objective market value. So there is a huge number of population who are ready like to use this product. So I mean, I think this is like kind of like a greenfield for that space. But also it's like there is like a more awareness is like created about like a lot of governments and tech communities, like they feel that like they kind of like missed the WTO bubble, but they don't want to miss the next one. So there is like like there is a sense of like urgency in that regard to be a front runner and some of the things like we want to do.
Great. We have so many great comments, They're all very happy to have you here, to have information from first hand. And this is also a question coming from our community. Besides the direct commercial benefits of internet access, do you think that providing internet access to the wider population could help increase the literacy rate in places like Ethiopia?
Yeah, very, very good question. Yeah, absolutely. I think right now, like the digital divide is like it's very clear. We can see that that's actually one of the highest risk in the 21st century is like having that digital divide. But when it comes to digital literacy, I think it's also interlinked with like literacy. I've been working on educational sector for a long time. I've done like research project with MIT University on the ground for out of school children, and more specifically, like how do we use technology to millions of children who are out of school, who can't actually walk to school. Can we create technological product can actually like serve as a teacher, right? Try to actually take the teachers out of the equation and solve the problem. And I think what we've seen is like, I think now the digital literacy and general literacy is like going hand in hand. I think if someone actually like know how to read and write, it's more likely that they will actually like use digital devices, at least a mobile phone, and vice versa. If people actually start to use mobile phone, there is a high chance they will actually be literate and start reading and write. So this is like becoming interlinked, which is a new phenomenon that many developed nations, they never really thought about before. So I think in that regard, I think we have a huge potential by providing last mile technology and connectivity with the right devices. We can actually like make everyone be literate in countries like Ethiopia. And it doesn't really take that much. I mean, at the end right now, like devices are actually getting very cheap. We know that like, I think the cheapest probably is like around 37 euro or something tablet has been produced, at least so far. And if bigger companies like Google, if they want to jump, they can create a $10 tablet if they really want to. I mean, it will make sense from the service side later on, because like they can sell a lot of services on top of that. And if you have connectivity and if you have like that kind of devices, you can teach everyone.
That's true.
So one other thing that I remembered right now that we've been doing in Sierra Leone already, or working on it. I don't know if Markus actually knows this, but we've been filming some with local help. We've been filming some educational material, and because we have our own streaming solution that's in-house built, we can actually have an on-demand on-demand education, or even we can just stream it 24 hours in, like a TV program just on the TVs, and it's compatible with all the old connections. You can devices. You can even hook up a 20, 30-year-old TV to that.
Yeah, I'm aware of that actually. Like it's a fantastic product. I mean, this is again another like important like feature which telecoms never thought about this before, is like kind of the streaming service, so that like students where they are, they can actually receive this content. It's extremely useful.
There's another question from Miran. He's asking, I will show it. Is Ethiopian government blockchain friendly?
Well, I'm not Ethiopian government representative, to be honest. But I think I would say yes. Just in general, like I think in the last 2 years, Ethiopian government has been like very friendly for any sort of technological advancement. So especially like for emerging technology, I can give you countless examples for that as well. I think it's like recently, like the government set up the AI lab. It's a government-owned AI lab to promote like the growth of like artificial intelligence in the country. And then there is a lot of like with the Cardano blockchain in the school, connectivity with digital IDs. And also actually expanding the digital IDs also for the general citizens. The government is exploring like blockchain technologies, is actually like a very extremely positive progress in that regard. But I think even more, I think there is a lot of like interest in general. Actually, I've heard it like directly from the national bank management in recent times, that they were actually even studying about like cryptocurrencies, and actually that how will it impact in both positive and negative ways in Ethiopian economy and so on. So there is a lot of interest in leapfrogging and bringing smart ideas on the ground. And also currently, like the Ethiopian Startup Act or proclamation is under ratifying, which also like kind of help the startup community to progress. So I mean, this is again part of like the government initiative to support the entrepreneurs further.
Okay, we have another question here. Are you educating? Okay, just put it on, Sandi, so that I can see it, please, because that is also. Are you educating the Ethiopian people on the benefits of switching to your network?
Yeah, I think if the question actually like means that like kind of network with like kind of reliable internet and so on, I think again this is like there is a clear value proposition for this. So it's in most cases the public knowledge around a certain area is influenced by availability in one hand. The second thing is like also like what are actually like the local community is connected on. It's like you're looking at the developers community, the designers community, the bloggers community, and so on. And how many of these community members are convinced about a certain technology, because you always need these early adopters for any sort of connectivity. So in this case, I think like we are in the right place in that regard. So we're building the tech community with iceaddis. We've been working on that the last 10 years. So this is going to be like a continuous like effort to engage the developers, the builders community to the networks and services like this.
Okay, there's another question. With African getting internet, what would be the main device they use? Laptop, PC, phone, tablets?
I think handheld devices are by far the most used ones. Again, I mean, I think that makes sense, right? A lot of people are like on the move, and we know that like in the last years, like the prices and also the CPU power and like the productivity on handheld device are actually also be increased, and also gives like a lot of freedom for people to do both informal and formal businesses. So I think this has been the case actually for a long time. If I really remember correctly, like at some point, actually, even in Uganda, for instance, there were like more mobile phones than light bulbs. It's
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really?
I still think that a laptop is unbeatable in regards to really educational needs, but just that everybody cannot afford a phone and a laptop, so they usually go for a phone because they can do both things. And with laptops, you cannot just call someone, and that's pretty needed. But in regards to comparisons of smartphones and so on, there are actually more smartphones in the world than there are internet connections. So
yeah.
that's also something to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are more smartphones than like internet connectivity. I mean, people like even sometimes they have like one phone per family and so on. So that's I think it's like I'm wondering it's like what the data looks like, especially after COVID, because a lot of people also like kind of bring in their workstation to the house and probably like purchase more laptop, I would say. But it's just like, yeah, there's clearly like there's much more mobile devices.
Yeah. Can I give you another question? We will use, because you are here with us live and there are so many questions. So let's use the opportunity, Markus, to give you another one. Lawrence is asking this question. Are people in Africa ready for blockchain technology the same as their government?
I think that's a very good question. I think I think if you're talking about readiness, I think I would maybe rephrase it to adoption, right? I mean, I think readiness, yes, no question about it. I mean, everyone is ready for a new technology as long as like you solve a certain problem on the ground, right? And in most cases, like people wouldn't even know what kind of like the basic technology is, but they will still use it if it's actually providing like faster services. So if you actually like providing moving money from one device to the other with a minimal cost, and at the end, people really don't know like what is actually the technology behind that, right? I mean, this is like flying a plane without knowing how it works. I think I wouldn't be worried about that kind of like interest, but more like from the adoption side, like how like the people who are creating technology and also like the front runners, how they actually like use blockchain technology. I think in that regard, I think there is a huge awareness. And again, Africa is very big, and when it comes to demographic, like I said, the second most populous, and even in the same countries, the urban and the rural areas are extremely different. There's like a huge like language difference in the continent and so on. So it's very hard to create that kind of like bandwidths in the same way. But I think at least from the tech communities that I'm engaged in many markets, this is like extremely well adopted.
Okay. Just another question for you, Markus, before we also go to our giveaways today and talking about a special Christmas edition of the AMA. You have done so many things, still doing them, very active in all the fields of entrepreneurship, startups, and everything. Is there something that you still want to do? Because you have done so many things. What is maybe the next thing that you would like to do, or is this what you wanted to do and is just satisfying and okay with you?
No, actually, haven't yet started very well, actually. So I personally like believe that like if there is like a smart way of like putting capital in many of like these innovative ideas coming in, especially the young innovators in Africa, I think they will build something really amazing in the next years to come. So I mean, I personally like want to focus in the next 5 years, try to identify and scout like very early stage startups who have actually like potential and connect them with the right kind of finance. So that's kind of a natural next level, and I'm sure we can show a lot of like good ideas on that.
And we have a comment. We need more half a day listening to Markus, please.
I guess we'll need to get you back on the call.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a very interesting subject. We could just go on and on talking about it, but we are so glad to have you here, Markus. Thank you for your time. Sandi, is there something else you would like to ask or to add?
Well, I just what I want to add that Marcus was a really big and helpful addition to our team, and I'm so glad that he's on. And he's too humble, so he has so many connections, not only in Ethiopia but all around Africa, and we have been banking on that a lot. So that's really good for and yeah, thank you, Marcus, for everything that you've done and helped with 3R, and I'm pretty sure we'll be giving a lot back to Marcus and to the communities around there.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sandy. I know there is a lot of work is happening in the background. Sometimes people only see the front lines, but there is a lot of effort from the team, and actually, I'm very proud of this team, how much effort is putting to bring this forward. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Marcos, for being with us today. I hope there will be opportunity so that we could meet also live and talk about all of this. So thank you for now, and till the next time.
Thank you very much.
Next time will be on Saturday. Marcus is joining us on Saturday.
Oh, great, Marcos.
No, actually, yeah, I almost forgot.
Okay, well, this is something that we will reveal right now, talk about it more. So let's do this. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank you,
Marcos.
guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So, Sandi, you already started this subject, and now it's time, of course, to tell more. Should we reveal what will be happening on Saturday? Christmas Day.
Christmas special. So on Saturday we'll do a show. I don't know how long it's going to take us. No plans on that. But we won't be talking about 3R on that one. We'll just try and make some people happy. We already put some things in motion in Africa, so I think we'll make somebody happy in Kenya and Ethiopia and Sierra Leone and so on. So we love Africa, so we want to do something additionally good there, and this is going to come from the 3R team. This is going to be one. I think we'll have a really big show there. I have 15 people confirmed coming on, so
Wow.
that's going to be big. And I actually just saw that Restream allows us only 10 people on the show, so we'll kind of need to make a schedule to exchange them and so on.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy. I think it's going to be really fun. So hope everybody joins, and we'll also be giving out some prizes for people that are going to join, but not in the way that we are used to. We'll be giving away 10 times 1,000 tokens, but not it's going to be different. So we want to be giving away, but we also want you to give away. So how it's going to work is that we're now going to start collecting how do I say it, referrals. So you will need to tell us who you think we should give it to. So we'll then select 10 people from what people say who we should give it to, and keep in mind it's the tokens. So we'll collect this on our social media. So Telegram and Discord are preferred. Also, if somebody writes something on Twitter, it's also we'll try and just point us to it. So tell us who we should give the 1,000 tokens to, and maybe also why, and we'll select 10 people out of that, and yeah, we'll give away some new smaller prizes also to other participants.
Yeah, so we really need your suggestions, and right now write in the comment if you will be with us on Christmas Day at 5 p.m. Central European Time. So let's see who is with us on that day. I cannot wait for this to happen. It will be so festive, holiday feeling. I like Christmas, really looking forward to that. But still, Sandi, we are in the middle also of the New Year's game, right? Still going on. And I saw some code being revealed today in the middle of our conversation.
Yeah, this one you'll need to go back to and look. It's today's code, so it's not the big one, but there is something else coming in the last week of the year. So what we'll do is we'll hide on the website and on our social media all around. We'll just hide some codes. It's going to be 50 codes, so 50 codes, and they're just going to be written somewhere. It's not going to be said it's a secret code or something like that, but it's going to be recognizable, but it's not going to be searchable. So we're not going to make it so easy for you that you just type in some search and it's going to show up. So you're going to need to follow us, and there are going to be 50 50 codes. That's going to be quite a lot of points. And just to make it clear, the points don't determine directly the winner. So it's still going to be a draw. So even with the one, with 1 point can potentially be a winner. He just needs to be really lucky. So what the points are actually tickets to the draw. So everybody still has the chance to win, and there are gonna be a lot of points given away in the last week. So nobody is too late yet. Okay.
I have a feeling like you are Santa today, just
Santa. I
spreading,
need a hat. Where's my hat? Where's my Santa hat? Let me get my Santa
just
hat.
spreading good news.
That one, I'll have that one on
Go
on
and
Saturday.
get your cap. I will have one on
They
Saturday.
shaved my beard. And I would need to shave. I already have this white beard, I could be like really Santa.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah, it does that.
And you have also the matching sweater, so yeah, great.
I have a better sweater. So it's a sweater I'm forced to wear once per year, and then I'll wear it now twice. I'll wear it for you on Saturday also.
We all have these Christmas sweaters, just wearing them once a year and then just putting them away somewhere so no one can see them, but they're great.
I actually left it here in Slovenia because I thought if I leave it here, I won't have to wear it. But man, I'm back here now. So.
Okay, since you are being in this Santa role, let's do some giveaways now, because that is also something that we have to do now, live.
Well, do we have Markus still on the call? Markus could give away one. So let me see if Markus. Yeah, Markus is still here. Let's give Markus the chance to pick someone.
I'm reading like the questions.
Okay.
The community.
Are we both trying to put him on? Yeah, there he is.
Markus, you have to choose one of those who are commenting or asking questions, and he will receive 1,000 tokens. So it's your pick.
So tell me again. So I just choose from anyone from the
from the chat. Somebody from the chat. Try not to pick the ones that already won. But you don't know who they are.
I don't know who they are. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think I will go for Carlos Eigenman.
Okay.
Carlos, can you just click? You cannot click on it, right? So
we will look for him. So Carlos is your pick. Who finds him first? Let's see. Sandi.
Carlos, if you know, if you heard this, just write in the chat.
Okay.
I'll pick somebody from Discord.
Okay, do that.
Discord.
So we have three giveaways. 3 times 1,000 tokens. We have one. Now Sandi is picking another one.
Let me see Discord.
This is Carlos saying, "I'm listening." Yeah.
Okay, Carlos, if you're listening, please send us here in the chat. Please write your Telegram or Discord or Twitter handle. Somewhere we can contact you directly on our social media, just for identification purposes, because we have so much scam around. Okay, and
Carlos, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay, so let's see. Okay. I pick Maurice. Maurice, you're a winner from Discord. And that's for your wife. Yeah.
Okay.
Maurice, you're a winner. Congratulations. And Anita, you can choose
Congratulations.
one. Do you have a Telegram open? Maybe you could choose somebody from Telegram.
I can of course open it and see who. So let's choose someone from Telegram, right?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Who is live now? Oh, there are a lot of them. Okay. We have another Carlos, but this is Jose Carlos. I'm not sure if this. Let's not do this, or maybe should we?
Oh,
Okay.
now they are starting to write.
Yeah. Someone is saying, I want to win so I can move to Africa to help.
Fair enough.
Okay. Alaya. I'm picking Alaya.
Elijah.
Elijah. Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We have 3 winners. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He's picked the winner. Right. So we have 3 times 1,000 tokens, our giveaways this day, of this AMA. Great. It's so nice to be Santas. I'm really enjoying this, and there will be another opportunity on Saturday. So really looking forward to that. So do we have the addresses? I didn't check it now. Did you see, Sandi, if we have
No,
Carlos' handle? Because we really need it. Carlos, if you're looking right now, just write your handle. Oh, yeah, we have it. Okay. Twitter.
Okay, Marcus says to Jules next time. Marcus, if you write it, just goes to our private chat.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So for Jules next time.
I don't know if I can give you some permissions to write in the chat. It is how it is. I don't know how it works.
Okay, Jesse. I think I have written down the handle from Carlos.
Yeah, I see it also now.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. So we have it. Great. Okay.
That's it. This was pretty good today. It was really an interesting call.
It was.
Yeah, you should do it without me,
I was enjoying it so much.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you, both of you, very much. To all of you who are with us today and in our communities, of course, thank you for being with us. Do participate. Do get involved, click like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check our Telegram or Discord or Twitter. We are there all the time. These conversations are going on and on every day, and you can get all the answers to the questions. Everything is there. So just stick with us, and we will be with you again live on Saturday. But before that, Petra, hi!
Hi!
Another Santa is here.
Yeah, we'll be here on Saturday. And yeah, there's one thing: we are doing NFTs.
Okay. So thank you, and have a great Christmas. And also, before the Christmas Eve, we are celebrating on 24th in Slovenia. And then we'll see us on Christmas Day on the 25th of December. Looking forward to that. 5 p.m. Central European Time. Thank you very much. And bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Marcus. Bye-bye. Thanks.